Hi, well, this is a modern, but still old, like well over a century, reproduction of a lobster tail helmet, or lobster tail pot helmet. It was probably made during the Victorian era when they loved to recreate old arms and armor, and it's still really, really neat. The originals were used in the 1600s, and there were two major types. We're looking at one of them. Well, obviously, there's only two, and we know which type it is because of these three vertical bars forming essentially the face mask. You can see how they're on that metal visor, and that visor hinges, so you could raise it up, although really not much point since it seems to provide great visibility. These were used on the European continent and British Isles, specifically in the 30 Years' War and the English Civil War, two very notable conflicts. Look at the ear protectors there. They're flaps. You can see the perforations there, I guess to help you hear a little bit better. Here's the top, and you wouldn't be able to tell looking at this because it looks conventional to us, but these types of helmets were based on a Turkish Ottoman model, which you probably know. It's like an inverted teardrop, very distinctive. And here, of course, is the telltale feature, right? If it looks like this, then it's probably a lobster tail helmet. A lot of them had actual multiple layers, and some just faux multiple layers, which is what we're seeing here. Serious protection for the base of the neck, and that's very smart. Back to the ear flaps. One of the reasons I call them flaps is because they move. So let's take a look. These here are on leather, so it's just the leather's inherent flexibility, but sometimes they could be hinged as well. I'm honestly giving you the kind of easily found information on these. It wasn't tough. One thing that I'll throw in to be a little unique is, I didn't see this in the literature anywhere. Why do the flaps fold inward? That doesn't seem to make sense for protection, right? If I get hit on the outside of that, I wouldn't want it to be able to flex into my ear/face, but that's what they do nonetheless. This here is a pretty workmanlike model, and a lot of them were like that, the originals. But as you can imagine, there's some very fancy versions out there, and you can see some like at the Met in New York City, that kind of thing. So if you were a rich man fighting in the cavalry, and an officer, then you would have a much more ornate version. There it is, a pretty unique helmet type, and just a good one to be aware of. Thank you.